stock related queries. So don't forget to call us or WhatsApp us. The numbers are there flashing on your screens right now, viewers. And on the show, I'm being joined by Avinash Gorakshakar, Director Research, Profit Market Securities on the fundamentals, and Gaurav Sharma, Associate VP and HOR Globe Capitals on the technicals. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Hello. Good evening,
Good evening. Now, let's get started with the first query on the show, which is written to us by Gargi. So, she's asking whether it's the right time to invest in Tilaknagar Industries, although she hasn't mentioned the time horizon. So, firstly, I'd like to come to you, Avinash, on the fundamentals of Tilaknagar Industries. How are you viewing this counter?
Yeah, I think clearly Tilaknagar Industries is a well-known liquor player and operates in the IMFL space. And I think numbers for last year as well as for the first quarter have been quite strong. Our sense is that this will be another strong year for the company because not only do they get the benefit of pricing, but demand has gone up, so volume growth also continues to be quite encouraging. Recently, they have announced a large buyout of a very well-known brand, and I think for that, the company plans to invest more than 2,000 odd crores. So for that, possibly there could be some equity dilution, some debt funding for the company. So my sense is that any investor who wants to buy the stock now will definitely benefit in the longer term. But in the short term, considering the fact that now the company will be borrowing a large amount of money, maybe doing a small equity dilution, there could be a little pressure on the stock price in the near term. So if you have got a 12 to 18 month time frame, then I think you can think of buying the stock on SIP basis, on every fall. And that would be a better idea because, the stock is definitely looking attractive from a long-term point of view. But in the short term, the stock could face a little bit of resistance. So long-term positive, short-term, I think we need to be very clear that there could be a little bit of consolidation.
Okay. So talking about the consolidation, Gaurav, I can rightly see that, currently the stock is pretty much falling. So do you suggest for somebody who wants to take fresh positions in it, should enter at these levels?
See, firstly, I completely agree with Avinashji here that scattered buying is the best way. The stock has already shown a decent up move from levels close to 340 to 550, 520 odd levels, from where some kind of profit taking is being just set in. I see it testing levels close to 440 and 420 in the immediate near term. So I think a little bit of 2 to 3 tranches she should spread up and buy on dips.
Okay. So buy on dips is what our experts are suggesting. With that, we have another WhatsApp query. So Mr. Shakir from Bahrain has written to us saying that he holds 376 shares of Navkar Corporation and he is bought at 130 rupees a piece. Again, he hasn't mentioned, the time horizon. So firstly, I'd like to come to you, Avinash, on the fundamentals of it. Navkar Corporation, if I look at the valuations, it seems pretty decent as compared to its peers. So, but what's your sense holistically? Are you optimistic on the counter?
Yeah, from a longer term perspective, we are quite positive, because there is a management change here. And I think, the new management has infused a lot of fresh capital. Plus at the same time, my sense is that already in the first quarter, some sort of a turnaround is visible. I think, this is a very important space because this is connected with infra. And I think, over the next, say, 3-4 quarters, hopefully, if the company executes well, then I think you're going to see a lot of, buying coming in. And at these levels, the downside is also protected. So from a longer term perspective, say somebody has got a 12 to 18 month kind of time frame, he can definitely think of allocating some money here, but keep it a long term call. Maybe in the short term, the stock would consolidate.
Okay. And from a short term perspective as well, coming to you, Gaurav, do you think it's a bit volatile when it comes to its short term performance?
Volatility is there, but as the stock is trading close to its support levels, the confluence zone of its short, medium, and long term averages, which settle somewhere around 115 odd levels, I think one can start gradually buying the stock at these levels. Dips should also be utilized to add on the position. Keeping a view of 3 months and above, one can take a position in the stock, look for targets close to 140, 145.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Now we are joined by Mr. Ravi on the phone line from Bengaluru. Hi, Mr. Ravi. Good evening.
Good evening. See, my question is with respect to Ola Electric.
Yeah.
I think after Tamanna's interview with Bhavesh Agarwal, the share price started shooting up like anything.
Yeah.
So I bought around 700 shares at the average price of 47, I bought some at 41, some at 50, something like that.
Yeah.
Now I want to know what is today. Again, it dropped by 6% or something.
Okay.
So what is the future? Because they seem to have gone for a new technology rather than depending on rare earth magnet, and that has sparked the thing. So I just wanted the expert's view whether it's for a long-term investment of 2 years, it's worth holding it and accumulating more shares, or what it is,
Understood. And rightly pointed out, our managing editor Tamanna Inamdar, recently visited Ola Electric's Giga factory there. And, I think Mr. Ravi has been following us very closely there because he has been observing the stock movement as well and, kind of correlated the two aspects. So firstly, coming to you, Avinash, talking about Ola's, fundamental performance, how are you viewing it firstly?
I think first of all, I think the NDTV team did a very good job in showing us the cell factory, on the channel. But I think talking about the long-term prospects of the company, definitely this is a company which is definitely going to grow its business exponentially because they operate in a very fast-growing electric space, and most importantly, technology is going to be the key driver. But in the short term, I think challenges will continue because products need to stabilize. The cost needs to be, obviously recovered. And I think it's a very clear game that, only in the longer term, company would make a decent amount of profit. So in the short term, I think you will have to face this volatility, not only on the stock price, but even on the business performance, because on a quarter to quarter basis, it's unlikely that something great may happen over the next, say, 12 to 15 months. Companies competing with existing IC players, which have got very deep pockets, and they are also present in the electric vehicle space, specifically the two-wheeler segment. So I think, if the investor can hold on for the next, say, 2 to 3 years, I think numbers definitely will take some time to get reflected. But yes, structurally, we are positive on the company for the longer term. But in the short term, I think be prepared for a lot of volatility. Yeah.
Okay, be prepared for a lot of volatility in the shorter run. But coming to you, Gaurav, since we've seen a very, sharp uptick there, so do you think these are the correct levels to enter for somebody who's a new investor there, or are these, elevated levels?
Levels are not at all elevated considering the 2 years time frame where the viewer is looking at. I think these are good levels. He can buy some quantity here around 48 odd levels, and if the stock further slides towards 45 and 42, that's where I'll be interested in taking the second lot and holding the position for the next 2 years, and I think he will make good money out of it.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Now we are being joined by Mr. Venkat from Bengaluru on the phone line. Hi, Mr. Venkat. Good evening.
Madam, good evening, madam.
Yeah, please go ahead with your query.
Madam, I have 50,000 of corpus.
Okay.
So I want to invest in, I am thinking about two stocks. One is JSW Cement.
Yeah.
And the other one is Ola Electric. So which one I should prefer?
Okay. So we were just discussing, Mr. Ravi, about Ola Electric, but since you have two options there, so I'd like to pose that directly to our experts. Firstly, coming to you, Avinash, what would your pick be between JSW Cement or Ola Electric?
I think, JSW Cement is in the flavor because obviously, I think cement is now going to be taxed at a lower rate. I think today some formal announcement has come in that the 12% and 28% slabs are going to be abolished. So I think typically, I think you're going to see 5% and 18% slabs continuing, and cement attracts GST of 28% currently. So I think any benefit which comes for cement on the GST side is going to benefit the entire GST cement sector. And overall, if you look at JSW Cement, it's promoted by a well-known group. The group has got deep pockets, and despite the fact that it's not very profitable, over the next, say, 2 years, if somebody has got a time frame, one can definitely think of buying the stock. The stock got listed very recently, so it doesn't have a very long track record. But I think overall the cement sector looks encouraging with the kind of investments the government wants to put in infrastructure. And plus, cement as a pack is going to do very well. Our sense is if the economy grows by 6.5%, cement is definitely one of the most important building blocks for the economy. So longer term, JSW will be a better bet compared to Ola Electric.
Okay, so JSW Cement will be a better bet than Ola Electric. Gaurav, coming to you, do you also hold the same view?
It is not practically possible to judge JSW cement on a chart, as you know it is a recently listed. Just couple of sessions have passed by, but we are positive on the cement pack on the whole. We have a coverage and a buy recommendation report on Ultratech cement. Other than that, we look cement as a very positive side, and JSW, as Avinash has rightly pointed out, the pedigree comes out to be really good. Deep pockets, GST benefit will be there. 30 to 40 rupees cut can be expected per bag, and this will actually make the cement things more attractive also. So considering all, yes, JSW is a better bag, but I would say that considering the kind of business in which Ola is, I think at least a 60-40 kind of a ratio can be made out there. 60% towards JSW cement and 40% towards Ola Electric from my side.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Now let's go across to Mr. Murli, who's joining us on the phone line from Bengaluru. Hi, Mr. Murli. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, how can I help you today?
Taking my query.
It's our pleasure.
Regards to both the panelists, experts.
Yes, yeah. Mr. Murli, please go ahead.
My query is, I bought a Frontier Springs, NSE listed company.
Yeah.
I'm planning to list in NSE soon. I around the 50 shares at rate of 4,990.
Okay.
And I want to add more, considering they are trying to increase the turnover by 70%, 25-26 management guidance.
Yeah.
With an EPS of around 150, 160 rupees against 107 now.
Yeah.
Which I consider it will come down to less than 33, and it has come down 10% from its peak after the declaration of Q1 results. I mean, it reached there, then it came down. Can I add more declines? And they are in all types of transportation streams.
Okay, Mr. Murli, we've understood your query. Firstly, coming to you, Avinash, Frontier Spring is the counter. How are you viewing it, and should he be adding at these levels when it has dropped down to 4909?
Yeah, I think clearly Frontier Springs is one of those companies which has delivered excellently, and I think it comes from the mid-cap basket, because these are not stocks where large institutional funds have got stakes, but I think a lot of HNI and retail money has entered the stock. Most importantly, Frontier Springs is a very large supplier of springs to the railway sector, and where they've got a very large dominant market. The expansion obviously will help them, and I think if the investor has got a 2-year view plus, then only I think he should buy this stock, because this is not a cheap stock. It is fair to expensive, and I think only if you keep a 2-year kind of timeline, then the runway for growth is looking very strong and quite encouraging. So I think keep a time frame of at least 2 years if you want to make a decent risk reward here.
Okay, so if you want to make a decent risk reward, just stay put with your investments for at least 2 years. That's the word coming in by our experts there. We have now Mansingh joining us on the phone line from Kurnool. Hi Mansingh, good evening.
Hi Makshi, very good evening.
Yes, very good evening to you too. Please go ahead with your query.
I want to know the fundamental view and entry point regarding the DSS, Dynacons Systems Solution Limited.
Okay. So Dynacons, and are you planning to invest in it for long term?
Yes.
Okay. So Avinash, Dynacons Systems is the counter, and Mansingh wishes to invest 1 lakh of corpus in it. So is it advisable?
Yeah, I think, on the fundamental side, the company has delivered pretty solid numbers last year as well as for the Q1. But I think, in these kind of counters where almost everybody knows about what these companies are doing, the alpha creation has already happened. And I think from now on, if the investor wants a decent risk reward, he has to take a 12 to 18 month time frame first. And secondly, rather than putting 1 lakh rupees in one shot, I think it's better that he puts about 25%, in one go, and then does a small SIP, because obviously you would get opportunities to buy these stocks at the current or maybe at lower levels, and that would actually help him get a fair amount of entry point. My sense is that an SIP here will be better, because this is more of a fundamental kind of counter where a little less liquidity is there, but the business continues to grow quite rapidly. So follow an SIP and take a time frame of at least 18 months.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Now let's go across to Krishna joining us on the phone line from Bengaluru. Hi, Krishna. Good evening.
Good evening. My
Yes.
question is, I want to ask about Hyundai. So I got 7 shares in IPO, okay, and at the rate of 1960. So
Yeah.
since the GST is going down now, so it's the right time to invest. How the technicals of this company and how this will progress in this year and upcoming year, I would like to know.
Okay. So Gaurav, coming straight to you, Hyundai is the counter. Technically, how are you viewing it? What are the charts suggesting?
Stock is looking good. Things are looking pretty good for this stock, although it did not perform right after its listing. But of late, the stock has done well and played its parts. I think a level close to 2200 will be better to take a fresh position here, keeping a view of at least 2 to 3 quarters, and one can expect the stock to rise towards the 28, 2900 odd levels.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Now let's go across to a caller joining us from Bengaluru. Hi, Rahul. Good evening.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Yes. Please go ahead with the
Ma'am.
query.
Ma'am, KPI Technology 500 quantity in average price 1,300.
Okay.
Profit loss of 40,000, ma'am. For short term 3 months, ma'am. Shell or what, ma'am? Please technical analysis, ma'am.
Okay. So KPI Tech is the counter, Gaurav, and he has made some significant losses there, 43,000 to be precise. So are you seeing any sort of bounce back on the counter, in the coming 3 to 6 months?
Considering the shorter time frame, the stock does not look impressive. I'll suggest him to shift to stocks like Emphasis and Coforge. They are much better placed. They have a better business model, and we expect these stock to give a bounce back in the next 2 to 3 months. They have started their upward trajectory. Even they can consider buying them. Emphasis and Coforge.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. And we are being joined by Sandeep on the phone line from Bengaluru. Hi, Sandeep. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah.
The thing is, I want to purchase 1,000 units of IndiGrid Infra
Okay.
just to create a regular income, like quarterly. Some dividends will be there. So should I go for that, or should I invest somewhere else?
Okay, so you're eyeing for IndiGrid Infra. You've already bought 10 shares at
Yeah.
157 rupees. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so Avinash, should he continue with this investment or should he be switching his positions there?
No, I think the instrument which he mentioned has to be held on for the next, say, 2 to 3 years if he expects a decent kind of income inflow, because these are stocks where I think almost 90% of the dividend is distributed. So I think my sense is that if he can hold on for the next, say, 2 to 3 years, I think he can expect a decent kind of cash flow. So my sense is, continue to hold. I think don't make it a short-term investment, and obviously try to contribute a significant amount, maybe a reasonable amount which you can manage, so that your inflows every year are decent enough, in form of dividend.
Right. Thank you so much for that. Now we're being joined by Jai Kishan on the phone line from Gwalior. Namaste, Jai Kishan ji.
Good evening, madam.
Good
Can I
evening.
speak in हिंदी?
हाँ जी, बिल्कुल आप हिंदी में बात कर सकते हैं, बताइए.
पहला तो मैं पूछना चाहूंगा कि ये एनडीटीवी प्रॉफिट हिंदी में कब शुरू होगा?
जी, आपकी जो रिकमेंडेशन है वो हम बिल्कुल पास ऑन करेंगे, जय किशन जी.
अच्छा, बहुत बढ़िया है, एनडीटीवी प्रॉफिट बहुत बढ़िया है.
थैंक यू सो मच.
हाँ मैडम, मैंने ना 400 रुपए के 1000 शेयर दिए हैं जुपिटर वेगन
जी.
तो उसमें लॉस हो रहा है.
हाँ जी, तो आप लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टर है मिस्टर जयकिशन, या फिर शॉर्ट टर्म इन्वेस्टर?
नहीं, लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए.
लॉन्ग टर्म, ठीक है. तो Avinash, coming to you on this one, since Jai Kishan, is sitting on a loss of almost 57,000 there. So what would your advice be to him? Should he stay put with his investment? क्या जय किशन जी को अभी घबराने की जरूरत है या फिर अभी तसल्ली से वो बैठ सकते हैं? Avinash?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
आई थिंक मैं कहूंगा कि जुपिटर वैगन में उन्होंने जो शेयर खरीदा है कम से कम 1.5 साल का टाइम फ्रेम रखिए, क्योंकि देखिए कंपनी वेल एस्टेब्लिश वैगन मैन्युफैक्चरर है। अभी तो वैगन कंपनीज के पास तो कम से कम अगले 2-3 साल की ऑर्डर बुक है, और रेलवे सेक्टर में जिस प्रकार का ग्रोथ आ रहा है, गवर्नमेंट खर्चा कर रही है, तो ये स्टॉक में जरूर आपको आने वाले 1.5-2 साल में अच्छा रिटर्न मिलेगा। बट शॉर्ट टर्म में शायद आपने थोड़ा सा ऊपरी लेवल पे ये स्टॉक खरीदा है, बट नजरिया अगर आपका लॉन्ग टर्म है तो इसमें जरूर पैसा बनेगा। तो थोड़ा लॉन्ग टर्म व्यू रखिए। शॉर्ट टर्म में हो सकता है थोड़ा अंडर परफॉर्म करे, बट लॉन्गर टर्म में मुझे लगता है कि आपका पैसा आपको अच्छा रिटर्न देगा। कंपनी अच्छी है, ऑर्डर बुक अच्छी है, और रेलवे सेक्टर एक अपग्रोइंग सेक्टर है जहां पे बहुत इन्वेस्टमेंट्स आने वाले सालों में भी आने की अपेक्षा है।
Ji, thank you so much, Avinash, for that. And now let's go across to Dheeraj, who's joining us on the phone line from Hyderabad. Hi, Dheeraj. Good evening.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening.
Yes.
First of all, I should be thankful for this Ask Profit show, which is so helpful in my stock market journey.
It's our pleasure.
My query is regarding, I'm sorry, ma'am, Power Finance Corporation.
Okay.
I'm holding 250 shares, which I purchased today at 403 rupees, ma'am.
Understood.
Actually, I have a query on, my query is regarding, Power Finance Corporation have huge trading volumes, ma'am. Every day, around 60 to 70 lakh shares are being traded.
Yeah.
And all the brokerage houses are valuing Power Finance Corporation, REC, all these at good brokerage notes were given at prices around 550 rupees. So, but why is there so much of consolidation in PFC and REC, ma'am? For a short-term outlook, I would like to know regarding this, ma'am.
Okay. So I'd like Gaurav to take this one. Gaurav, what is the reason behind, this consolidation there? And do you see it reaching or crossing the 500 mark anytime soon?
See, PFC is a very good PSU company, and considering the kind of run-up the stock has posted in the past 2-3 years, it has the upward journey began from two figures somewhere close to below 100 levels, and a steep run-up was seen on the stock, five-folded and tested around 550 odd levels. Thereafter, it is into a consolidation phase. Keeping a long-term view is what is advisable. Since our viewer is looking at a short-term perspective, I think some more downside will be seen in the immediate near term towards levels close to 385 to 375 zone. There the stock is likely to take some rest, and then a pullback rally can be expected towards 420.
Right. Thank you so much for that. Now let's go across to Mr. Prasad, who's joining us on the phone line from Bengaluru. Hi, Mr. Prasad. Good evening.
Hello, good evening, and thanks for fitting my question.
It's our pleasure. Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to invest around 50K in IREDA.
Okay.
The stock has fallen at least 50% in a span of 1 year. From the levels of 300 and above, now it's trading around 140.
Yeah. Okay.
I would like to know the proper levels to enter.
Okay, understood.
And it's for long term.
Understood. So, IREDA is the counter, Avinash. So, should Mr. Prasad be entering this counter at these levels, and how are you viewing it fundamentally?
So I think he can definitely look at accumulating IREDA, for long term, because within the power financing, space, IREDA occupies a very unique position. And I think, the short term Q1 numbers have not been up to street expectation. Plus, what happened in the Gensol episode, I think that also had a very negative impact on the stock. But if you look at the next 18 to 24 months, a lot of renewable energy kind of power projects are coming up. And I think there's a lot of, growth opportunity available for the company. My sense is that, this company can give good returns only in the longer term. In the short term, it's very difficult to expect the stock to bounce back immediately. But I think looking at its unique positioning and the kind of order book and the kind of financing benefits which they get, I would say that, you can obviously buy 25-30% of the stock now and wait for the Q2 numbers also to come out. In case the Q2 numbers are not good, either flattish, you can get another opportunity to buy at lower levels. But yes, structurally, we are positive on the stock for the longer term. In the short term, maybe the next 1 or 2 quarters could be a little challenging.
Okay, understood. Thank you so much for that wise advice there. And we are being joined by Indradeep on the phone line from Hyderabad now. Hi, Mr. Indradeep. Good evening.
Hi, Himakshi. Good evening. Thanks for attending my query, and thanks to all the panelists for supporting the NDTV Profit NDTV.
Yeah.
And my query is regarding Adani Green, wherein I have 500 shares. I have bought it at 887 price.
Yeah.
500 shares at 887, and I also have Adani Energy Solutions 500 shares, which is of 724 average.
Right.
So I just wanted to I just check with the panel if I'm good to switch Adani Energy to Adani Green, or else do you want me to hold on with both the prices at this point of time?
Okay. So, Avinash, I would like you to take this one. So, what would your advice be to Mr. Indradeep very quickly?
No, I think both the stocks have their own unique positioning. Adani Green is into the solar side of the business. Adani Energy Solutions is more on the distribution side. And see, my guess is that, this group has operated on the infrastructure side. They have large assets. They have very good positioning in the domestic market. So I think, if the investor can keep this, in both these stocks in the portfolio for the next 12 to 18 months, I think clearly, the flavor in the market is still there. I think markets are always looking forward to what happens on the power generation, on the distribution, on the renewable energy side. So I think it's better to hold on. I think in these kind of stocks, you need to give in some more time to get the proper risk reward in your favor. So I think, maybe in the short term, the stocks may remain a little bit of, consolidate. But longer term, yes, I think you can hold on and you can expect a decent risk reward.
Okay, thank you so much for that advice there, Avinash. And with that, I'm afraid that we are running short of time on this edition of Ask Profit. But thank you so much for always being there and supportive. Thank you so much once again. And viewers, with this, it's a wrap on this edition of Ask Profit. But please don't go anywhere, as there's a lot of action lined up ahead for you all on the other side of the break.
They're the force behind some of India's most respected business empires. But you've rarely heard them speak. Now, for the first time, these leaders open up on succession, conflict, governance, and inheritance. Join me as we step inside boardrooms and living rooms of India's most enduring family businesses for real stories, raw conversation, resilient legacies, building legacy.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I hold CDSL for the long term?
Buy, sell or hold.
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in to yet another episode of Profit Insights, and it's absolute delight to have Mr. Ramdev Agrawal speak to us today. And not for any other reason, it's always a delight to talk to him, but I think we are talking to him after a week